Hey, I am Chris Edge. In the past, Commodore 64 games went through various generations. The first wave, known as the Classic Era, did not have a distinct identity as game concepts were mostly taken from contemporary coin-op arcade machines like Invaders, Pac-Man, Berserk, and others. The only exceptions were text adventure games, as they were not suitable for coin-op game rooms because they required a lot of time to figure out things. Sounds were simple and graphics were blocky. The second wave, which emerged in the mid-1980s, was aimed at home computers. Although many C64 games were still conversions, such as the legendary Commando or Golden Axe, games began to develop their own identities. Many genres, that were exclusive to home computers, were created. Sims like Gunship, tactical games like Storm Across Europe, point-and-click adventures like Zack McCracken, or long-play RPGs like Bard's Tale were among them. Graphics and music improved much, thanks to guys like composer mastermind Rob Hubbard. It was the golden age of C64 game design. However, times changed. By the early 1990s, the industry had switched from 8-bit home computers to 16-bit machines. The Amiga, which was supposed to succeed the C64, unfortunately, turned out to be a business failure, and gaming slowly moved to boring-looking PC towers, which became the winning branch of evolution. It was a sad period because the last wave of games developed for Commodore 64 was among the most refined. Graphics, coding, and music pushed the hardware to the limit, and often beyond. Today's game, PP Hammer, comes from that era, around the twilight of commercial C64 game development. It was released by Traveling Bits in 1991 on Amiga, and later ported to Commodore 64, becoming one of the most amazing game ports, in my opinion. Despite the fact that the performance of a C64 was only a fraction of an Amiga's, it was perfectly realized, and the result was a bit smaller, but delivered the same amount of fun. A perfect conversion. In my subjective opinion, it turned out to be a more solid game on C64. The audio elements, including the music and sound effects, played a significant role in achieving this. The Amiga edition was crafted by Dirk Magicord, who did an exceptional job utilizing samples, in line with the current trend. The C64 is a different beast, however, much like a fully programmable 3-channel analog synthesizer with no sample playback capability. The music creation was entrusted to the young and dynamic duo of Thomas and Michael Detert, who were on fire with their creativity. They did not convert the Amiga music, rather, they produced their own unique compositions. In my opinion, the outcome is a more solid and immersive experience, thanks to the Detert brothers' incorporation of some incredibly catchy melodies that greatly enhanced the game's atmosphere. The same can be said for the visuals and gameplay, which feel more responsive. To me, compared to the Amiga version, despite the fact that various themes, such as ice, medieval, and Egyptian, are primarily distinguished by just different color schemes and music, the graphics and overall feel are pretty snappy. Regarding the game concept, it is a form of escape room puzzle game. Some people cite 1983 classic Loderunner as an influence. Whether this is true or not, is unknown to me. Nonetheless, PP Hammer always reminded me of Loderunner Dash because of two reasons. One reason is the game's solid feel, while the other is the difficulty of the levels. As you proceed through the game, you will have to solve some extremely challenging levels. Despite this, PP Hammer is the most enjoyable to play without a trainer, such as unlimited lives, time, potions, or keys. If you aim to finish the game in one go, it will take around 4 hours, assuming you execute everything flawlessly. However, the levels are tough, filled with traps and tricks, so completing the game will require many attempts. If you choose to take a less hardcore approach, just go that way. The game provides that, too. After beating a level, you will receive a password that allows you to resume from that point if you fail. I recommend attempting to complete it yourself without help and unlock passcodes, since PP Hammer is the most enjoyable that way. It's fun to explore things on your own. Nevertheless, I am aware that no one does this these days, so I've included all the passcodes in the video description below. PP Hammer is one of the most outstanding C64 game ports ever created, at least during its heyday. Nowadays, the demo scene guys have produced some insane game ports that go far beyond the C64's limitations. The demo scene is all about pushing this ancient home computer beyond its capabilities, but that is a tale for another day. See you, somewhere, in time.